As a constitutional law attorney, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
Welcome back. And I do speak truth with love, but I also love that Daily Wire speaks truth with a little bit of snark and comedy. And their new movie that is out is called Lady Ballers, which explores from a comedic perspective men engaging in women's sports. And this is a really hilarious comedy. And I was going to play the trailer for you, but I think that you just need to go to either YouTube, Rumble, Daily Wire Plus, and watch it for yourself because the audio just doesn't do it justice. You really, really need to actually see all of the amazing characters and all of these men and some of your favorite personalities that are now dressed up as women and saying, hey, we can go and dominate women's sports.
In a world where women's sports is being transformed, the Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
Guys, this is serious. Sports can be your pathway to a better life.
Well, like yours?
Please don't steal my catalytic converter again. Winning matters. It's the key ingredient in becoming a winner.
Maybe you should try it sometime. Are you gonna move?
I am not.
Let's cut to the chase. I know you're not a woman.
Hey, you don't know how he identifies.
If you can beat them,
What do you know about the U.S. Opens for the Global Games?
You want us to compete as women. $5,000 prizes.
My lover says you were a great coach back in the day.
join them.
This is the way the world is now. My 8-year-old daughter told me all about it.
So a guy can become a girl with no physical changes at all.
Oh, that's called gender fluid.
So I can be a woman on the court and a man in the bedroom. I can't believe it. Nice!
You mean when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Coach,
Alex,
We could play basketball.
we'd have to get the whole team back together.
It's time
We're in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
to play
Lady Ballers. Mount up.
like a girl.
That's right. I'm with her. Believe in my truth. This is my truth.
From heroes
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
to sheroes.
We could dominate every woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer. I said sport, Felix!
it's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Excuse me. Are these seats open?
Never mind.
Getting dunks. And tucking trunks.
No, she didn't. That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
I don't care.
Lady Ballers.
One can even be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
Streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus December 1st.
With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time
anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit legacypm.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to your to customize your personal portfolio. So visit legacypminvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you.
So joining me now to discuss all of this and more is my very dear friend from the Daily Wire himself, Michael Knowles. So, Michael, what was the impetus for Daily Wire to have this kind of comedy and I think this brilliant display of how insane this issue actually is for anyone to defend?
Well, thank you so much. The impetus was Jeremy Boring needs to play with fire. He is like a little boy who has been left by his mother alone in the home, and he insists on doing the wildest, craziest things that could burn the company down, or that could be a big success and continue the growth of the company. And somehow the guy just keeps catching lightning in a bottle. But he was looking around, and he said, okay, we're making entertainment now. We've got this big platform, big distribution. So how do we make a movie that only the Daily Wire can make? It's not that only the Daily Wire could ever have made this movie. In fact, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, any Hollywood studio would have been clamoring to make this movie because the cultural fact is so insane. We now have hulking, gigantic men competing against women in sports, and surprise, surprise, they're winning all the trophies because men are physically much stronger and faster than women. That's a funny premise for a movie. Hollywood wouldn't touch it. We were the only company that could make the movie, and so we did make it. And Jeremy wrote the script. He wrote it in, 2 weeks or something. He then sent it to me. I read it. I said, this is a masterpiece. The script is absolutely hilarious. Can we actually get away with it? He said, I don't care. We're doing it. We filmed this thing in 28 days or something. I mean, it was such a short period of filming. The entire process, pre-production to release, was about 6 months. And my only holdup on it was I said, Jeremy, do you think we could actually pull it off? And the reviews are in, and I'm pleased to say it's the #1 streaming movie on Rotten Tomatoes, 97% audience score. The liberals absolutely despise it. So, I think it checks every single box, and I hope that your audience loves it as well.
And I love, Michael Knowles, that Jeremy Boring, who's been also a dear friend of mine personally for years, just says, I don't care, let's do it, because that should be how conservatives treat the most absurd and insane issues that the left genuinely takes seriously and thinks that somehow society needs to defend. But I think you're right, and this goes to a bigger cultural problem that comedy used to be actually funny, and you could get away with some of these more hilarious style plots that made fun of absurdity or some known facts like men are stronger than women. And so this type of plot would have been hilarious 10 or 15 years ago from a big Hollywood production company. You'd get somebody like Will Ferrell to star in it. You'd get somebody like, Adam Sandler. We were talking before the program about Dodgeball, some of these more physical comedies. And yet this is now being panned by leftists because why? It's not respecting, the trans woman and the Leah Thomases of the world?
Well, my favorite criticism from the left of this movie, most of them are criticizing this movie without ever having seen it, of course. But my favorite criticism from a left-wing reviewer who had seen it was this person said that the conservatives here are undercutting our own argument, because one of the jokes of the movie, you can even see this in the trailer, is that no one wants to watch women's sports. And then all of a sudden the men start competing, and all of a sudden people start paying attention to it. And it becomes much more physically exciting, and it becomes much more violent. And so this reviewer said, well, you guys, you say you're defending women's sports, but you're actually attacking women's sports by suggesting that women aren't as good at sports, or that men can beat them. And of course, I think these left-wing reviewers are playing themselves here. I think they actually have totally missed the point of the movie, which is, yeah, no one cares about women's sports. We care in the sense that if our daughters are playing a sport, we don't want to see them cheated of their trophies. We care in that the whole point of establishing women's sports is so that they can play their own games and not have to compete against men to whom they will lose. But the reason that the women's sports issue with regard to transgenderism has become such a national conversation is not because people care about the WNBA. Nobody cares about that. It's because it's so obviously unjust. It's because we love women. We want them, especially the women who have trained their whole lives, we want them to be able to have the glory that is due to them. And we want them to be able to win their prizes that are due to them. And we want them to be able to win scholarships, by the way. There's actual money on the line here, material gain. We want them to receive the scholarships that they compete for, and we don't want men to cheat them out of it. The issue is not women's soccer, about which no one actually cares. The issue is justice. And there are very few issues in public life today that are a more glaring example of injustice than some giant dude taking away a trophy from a girl who's trained her whole life.
And Michael Knowles, that just beautifully articulates exactly what Riley Gaines said earlier this week in front of Congress, talking about the unfairness of men competing in women's sports and talking about how these transgender swimmers who are men dressed up in, the one-piece suits, instead of their men's shorts that they should be wearing, and they're swimming and they are winning and dominating, beating all of the world records and getting all of the gold medals. And Leah Thomas was something like close to 400th in the men's category, and now is first against someone like Riley Gaines, who is at the top of her game simply because he's a biological man. And so this is it's such a fascinating comedy because it, within the context of the hilarity of the ridiculousness of this issue, it's highlighting something that is more, I think, culturally fundamental, which is that injustice, that inherent unfairness that the left just cannot get around. And I can't believe that anyone at all who is rational would defend a man dressing up as a woman and going and playing women's sports. But you know who did that, actually, is Nikki Haley. And she went even further in a conversation that has actually broadly gone viral on X, formerly known as Twitter, in the last couple of days, even ahead of the GOP debate that was on Wednesday night. And she said this about parental rights in surgeries for minors. Listen to this.
Madam Ambassador, another question is what care should be on the table when a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy. What should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it. This is a job for the parents to handle. And then when that child becomes 18, if they want to make more of a permanent change, they can do that. But I think up until then, we see with our teenage kids, they go through a lot during puberty. They go through a lot of confusion. They go through a lot of anxiety. They go through a lot of pressures. We should support them the whole way through, but we don't need to go and enforce something in schools. We don't need schools sitting there hiding from the parents what gender pronoun they're using. We don't need to have those conversations in schools. Those are conversations that should be had at home.
So, Michael, I thought Nikki Haley's running as a Republican.
This was a terrible answer, truly. I like the woman a lot personally. I really like Nikki at a personal level. I think this was a profoundly dissatisfying answer to most Republicans, most reasonable people, who would say that, the transing of kids is an extreme form of child abuse. I mean, you are in many cases sterilizing these kids. You're giving them major health problems for the rest of their lives. You're giving them bone problems. You're likely shortening their life expectancies, to say nothing of the psychological problems that go along with this, the increased rates of anxiety, suicidality, depression, and to say nothing of the fact that you're just lying to them. You're telling a kid that a man can become a woman, which is not true. And so Nikki's argument here is that the government ought to be smaller and we ought to get the government out of decisions. But if the law has nothing to say about an extreme form of child abuse, if the law has nothing to say about ideologues castrating little kids, then the law has nothing to say about anything. You know, this would be a pretty basic aspect of governmental regulation. Now, what does it mean for Nikki's campaign? I actually think that there is going to be a significant minority of Republicans who support this view. Not you, not me, not the social conservatives, but a significant portion. And in recent weeks, we've seen a lot of the anti-Trump support in the GOP establishment and even among rank-and-file voters begin to move toward Nikki Haley. She got a major endorsement from the Koch network, the Kochs who represent that pro-business, stay out of social issues kind of wing of the party. And so is it going to make her the nominee? No. I think probably for most voters that stance would be disqualifying. But will it allow her to continue to remain in the race and be the anti-Trump candidate heading into the Iowa caucuses and the primaries? Probably it will. Oddly enough, for a lot of the Nikki Haley fans and donors, this is probably a perfectly acceptable answer.
Which is just so tragic and completely missing the point that you're right, Michael Knowles. If the law doesn't protect children against child abuse, then what's next? We're going to say, well, we need to just allow the therapists and the social workers to go into domestic violence situations, for example. And, who cares if there's a murder in the home? That's between the husband and the wife. Like, it just really doesn't matter. We need to let them debate that between. Well, no, the law criminalizes certain conduct for a reason. And that's why the government can, under those special circumstances, invade the province of the home. Now, it can't then obfuscate or infringe upon other parental rights, which, of course, is the actual care and upbringing and decision-making in other contexts for parents. But there's always been a bright line distinction there. But the law is also about fundamental fairness. And this is where we get to the women's sports issue, because even if we want to totally ignore reality as a society and say that men can become women and all of that nonsense, what about fundamental fairness? And I think one of the things that Lady Ballers, this movie, so perfectly, hilariously displays is how unfair just the brute force of men is competing against women.
That's right. Our big holdup making the movie, Jeremy had to face this very directly as the director of the movie, was we don't want to watch the scenes that we have to film of men dominating these women, smacking them with basketballs in the face and wrestling them. Can you imagine? I mean, that's all. You don't want to see a big man wrestling a little woman. And this gave Jeremy some pause as the director. But what impelled him to go on filming it was, this isn't fiction. This kind of a scene only exists in one comedy movie in America. It exists in reality in every state in this country. This is really happening to women. For goodness sakes, when men started competing in women's MMA, one of the first things that happened is that one of the top female fighters had her skull cracked by a man, because the men are obviously so much physically stronger. So, while it might make one wince to watch a woman get hit with a basketball during a movie, think about how much worse, how much more dangerous this really is in real life. I think that is a big part of the reason why the movie has gained so much traction, is because we all know this to be true. Frankly, even the pro-trans people know this to be true. That's why they protest. That we might say that the man lady doth protest too much. The trans lady doth protest too much. They all know that men and women are different. We're just not allowed to say it. Years ago, I remember we were approached by an agent in a major Hollywood agency here at the Daily Wire. And they said, we can work with you. We can do a lot of great stuff together. But you got to give up the trans issue. You can talk about abortion. You can talk about who you want to vote for. You just can't talk about this one issue. This is the special issue for the left. But the problem is there's always one issue for the left. There's always that one thing you're not allowed to talk about. And coincidentally, that's the one issue that happens to be up for debate. Now we can talk about marriage. We can talk about so-called gay marriage because it's a dead issue. The Supreme Court already ruled on it. We can talk about taxes. We can even talk about immigration. Nothing's going to happen. On this issue, I think the liberal elites know that public opinion is overwhelmingly on the side of fairness, justice, and the reality that men and women are different. And that's why they want to shut us all up. They want to kill this movie. They want to shut down our company. We're suing the State Department because we've just found out that the State Department has been funding efforts to shut down the Daily Wire. That lawsuit was just filed today. So we know for a fact they want to shut down this conversation. And I'm thrilled that people are willing to fork over their money and give us their time to watch it and support getting the truth out there.
Well, as a proud Daily Wire subscriber myself, I am very willing to support these types of truth-telling efforts, especially in the entertainment world, because in so many conservative circles, whether it's on a Republican platform, it's at a conference, it's even at church, you generally have a person standing behind a podium talking. And we have failed, and our good friend Drew Clavin speaks about this, I think one of the best, about how Christians have completely ceded entertainment and that entire category over to the left. And we do such, C and D grade work that really isn't worth supporting. And that's why the Daily Wire going after, for example, the Walt Disney Company and giving good alternative programming and then having these types of movies is worth funding, it's worth supporting, and it's worth engaging in so that we can continue to not only show that Daily Wire can be successful, but hopefully to encourage other conservative outlets to follow suit and to follow in your trailblazing efforts. So Lady Ballers is now out. People can watch that. Is it only on Daily Wire subscription, or can people view this as kind of a one and done independently so that they can kind of get a taste of it and then see if they want to subscribe?
They can certainly view this as a one and done movie just as soon as they subscribe to the Daily Wire. So to your point, Jenna, and I really appreciate the pitch, this has never been done before. We've never had a conservative media company actually making cultural products on this scale. It's been a pipe dream for a long time in Hollywood. I was part of those social groups back when we were all trying to do this 10 years ago. It's actually happened. For now, at least, we have a business model that is making it work. It is entirely dependent on people subscribing and supporting it, so that not only can the Daily Wire continue to make movies and shape the conversation and change the conversation on Capitol Hill and affect the whole culture, but what we want to do is prove that conservatives actually have a winning business model to do this so that other companies can do this as well, and it can become a much more sustainable alternative to the liberal economy that has pushed us out of the public square for far too long.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that I love about this as well is that with so much of the entertainment culture and the things that we do, after our jobs, we want to disengage with politics, and then we turn on the TV or we watch a movie, and we have to either fast forward or we have to ignore, or we have to talk to our kids about, well, okay, no, this scene wasn't great, or let's talk about the worldview behind it. And it actually becomes so frustrating. I mean, to the point, I don't subscribe to cable anymore because it's just not worth it. And I don't have Hulu anymore because it's just not worth it. I don't watch anything other than for sake of cultural commentary, right? To be able to go back and be like, look at Shonda Rhimes and how we started with a reasonably okay series, and now look at how insane it's become, 27 years later of Grey's Anatomy, and that's a whole other problem. But for this type of entertainment to actually teach a truthful message while being entertaining, we don't have enough of that, Michael Knowles. And I think that has been a huge blind spot to conservatives overall when, we're teaching things, but teaching can be entertaining as well.
Absolutely. That is what we're after. I'm with you. I don't subscribe to cable. I don't watch any of that stuff. Who has time to put all of the the prefaces and follow-up conversations and limitations on this, we want people to be able to just turn on the TV and watch content that they know reflects reality and that is appropriate for all ages. So we've got adult comedies like Lady Ballers. We have an adult cartoon coming out with Adam Carolla and Roseanne and a lot of other people called Mr. Burcham. And then we've got kids entertainment, which is frankly what I was the most excited about. This is Bent Key Kids, and it's content. It's not didactic. It's not just slapping you over the head with a message. It's just good kids entertainment that you can trust to put your kids in front of and know that they're not going to have some crazy ideology slammed down their throat. We think there's a market for an alternative to what the liberal elites have turned all of our biggest institutions into. We think there's major public demand for it. I think we've been proven right so far, so we really appreciate everyone who's come over and joined already, and we hope that many more people do and avail themselves of this alternative.
Excellent. And in just the last minutes I have with you, Michael Knowles, and again, the movie is Lady Ballers, and it's out right now on Daily Wire subscription. So do join and subscribe, and you'll find a lot of other really great content there as well, including the Michael Knowles Show, which is one of my personal favorites, even though I hear from Jeremy and all the others that, Michael is the one that would be out the door the soonest if this doesn't succeed. So this is also my pitch to save Michael's job. I'm just saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But so in terms of a preview of the movie, and people can go and watch the trailer on all platforms, and I encourage you to do so. It's really funny. So Jeremy is in the movie as well. He's the coach, and we actually see some of the other Daily Wire personalities. There's a cameo by Senator Ted Cruz. Are you in the movie? Is Ben Shapiro in the movie? What can you give us in terms of those previews?
I don't want any spoilers here, but yes. Not only are we in it, not only am I in it, not only is Ben in it, there are a lot of other fun cameos from people in the Daily Wire, outside of the Daily Wire, throughout the political world. I was actually sitting next to Senator Cruz in the theater when we were watching the premiere of it. I can attest our senator friend from Texas was laughing considerably throughout the movie, and so I hope you will too. There are a lot of fun people who crop up during it.
Excellent. All right. Well, no spoilers here, but Michael Knowles, Daily Wire, thank you so much. How can people, besides subscribing, find you, follow all of your great work? And I love all of your snark and truth telling on social media as well. So how can people best follow and support you?
Well, thank you, Janet. You can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter, and that is at Michael J. Knowles. You can find me tonight. I'm actually going to be speaking at Clemson on a related issue on how kids are not commodities, on surrogacy and IVF. You can find me all over social media, Michael J. Knowles at just about all of them. And you can, of course, find me at the Daily Wire.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for your time, and really looking forward to this movie being a smashing success, no pun intended. Thanks.
Always great to chat with you. Thank you, Jenna.
With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit legacypm.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to your to customize your personal portfolio. So visit legacypminvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you. My friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help you get the best night's sleep of your life. He didn't stop at the pillow. Mike also created the Giza Dream bed sheets. I have them. I love them. These sheets look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep, which is crucial for our overall health. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's latest deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you will receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets marketing prices down as low as $29.98, depending on the size. So go to mypillow.com and click on the radio podcast square and use promo code Jenna, Jenna. There, you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow kitchen towel sets, and so much more. I have all of this. I love it. Everything from MyPillow and also mystore.com. You can use promo code Jenna. So go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Jenna, and also mystore.com. And remember, use the promo code Jenna.